Is this the perfect pellet grill for you? The build quality on the new Traeger Ironwood models is pretty beefy compared to the older generation. And this new design also adds some pretty cool features. So grab a bag of pellets, Troy. We're gonna amplify some backyard barbecue fun. We have a 22-pound hopper on the Ironwood, and it also has a low fuel sensor, which is great, so it'll notify you when you're starting to run out of pellets. But you're still gonna wanna check, because in this hopper, it can start to pile up, or what I like to call a log jam. All you have to do though is just push them down and they'll flow nice and free. We have a pellet dump so we can change out our pellet type, and you can either use a 5-gallon pail or the stay dry pellet bin that is an accessory that you have to purchase from Traeger. And the bottom shelf is designed so it'll hold that bin right underneath the chute. The Ironwood has the newly designed D2 Direct Drive Wi-Fi PID full color touchscreen controller. Yeah, that's a mouthful. This display is very nice and easy to read. The Ironwood has a temperature range of 165 up to 500 degrees, and it can be adjusted in 5-degree increments. This pit also has the super smoke mode, but it only can be run from 165 to 225 degrees. Plus, it also has a keep warm mode that runs right around 165 degrees. It is super easy to set up timers and temp alerts for your meat probes. The Ironwood has 2 probe ports, and they send you 2 meat probes that are kind of color coordinated. If 2 probes aren't enough, you can purchase through Traeger's website meter wireless probes that also connect to the controller via Bluetooth. In my opinion, the Wi-Fi app is a little bit above average, but really simple to connect. And with the app, you can even name your Ironwood. I named this one Floki because it looks like a Viking boat. So I named it after the great Norwegian shipbuilder, Floki. And you can look it up on Wikipedia. I ain't lying. He was a great shipbuilder, and I think he was the first one to settle on Iceland. And another nice thing about this app, all of you beginners, there's recipes in there that you can follow along with. The Traeger Ironwood weighs 243 pounds. It's 70 inches long, 48 inches tall, and 25 inches deep. We have 924 square inches of cooking space, 594 on the main bottom cooking grates, and 330 on the top warming rack. And the grates, they're porcelain coated steel. The chamber, it is double walled, and we have this really nice lid gasket to help retain the heat. This pellet grill, it really doesn't leak a lot of smoke, and I'm very impressed compared to a lot of the other pellet grills that are sold in the market today. Most of the smoke really does escape out the downdraft exhaust. This pit has a very nice light that activates when you open up the lid. And with this design, the light does stay a little bit cleaner because it's not exposed to the smoke inside the chamber. The Ironwood has a very large side shelf, and it is designed for future add-on accessories like the pizza stove that should be coming out in a couple months. And my guess is they might even make the induction stove available like the one that you see on the Timberline. I mean, why wouldn't they? The shelf is exactly the same, so sell the induction stove. This pit comes with a very sturdy and large bottom shelf where you can store pellets or other barbecue supplies. We have 2 locking casters and 2 wagon wheels. And for the most part, seeing how big this pit is, it does move around pretty decent. We have an ash and grease keg for easy clean out. I really like this feature, but I wish they also would have added a clean out for the fire pot. When it comes to cleanup on the Ironwood, it's pretty much like every standard pellet grill, but you do have a couple extra cooking components that you need to clean up. But for the most part, you just scrape them all down and vacuum it up. The Ironwood has the new Traeger pop and lock system where you can add a lot of different types of accessories like the paper towel rack, spice tray, and tool hooks. The best part about the PAL system is you can put these accessories wherever you want. The other accessory that I really like is the cover. rubber. It fits nice and snug, and it seems to be built out of quality material. I can't promise that it's 100% waterproof, but it does keep the weather debris off from it. One thing that I've always liked about Traeger is how they package their grills. Every single one that I've gotten comes in dent-free and it's packaged well. On the Ironwood, they even designed a small little cardboard tray with a handle on it, so it made it a lot easier to flip this pit on its back so you can assemble those legs in that bottom shelf. And of course, like all the Traeger grills, you can take that box and build it into a fort. The assembly on the Traeger Ironwood took over an hour, and you certainly are going to want an extra hand because this pit is kind of heavy. Here's a pro tip: when you're assembling that pop and lock system, make sure that you're putting the correct rail in the right position. The initial startup and burn off on the Ironwood is a breeze. It's pretty much automatic. Just fill up that hopper and follow the instructions on the controller. And while that process is running, it's a perfect time to set up your Wi-Fi. Then just sit back and watch that timer, and the pit will automatically go into the shutdown process. The first thing that I noticed during the burn off, the Ironwood likes to smoke. And in my opinion, I'd say that this pit smokes a little bit above average than a lot of the other box store brands. With the Ironwood, you ain't gonna have any issues trying to grill or smoke. On my first cook, I did up some spicy spare ribs, and wow, talk about a smoke ring. It's kind of hard to see on film, but that smoke penetrated all the way down to the bone. This was a perfect time to test out some temps inside that chamber, and like most pellet grills, I had a 30-degree difference from left to right. The ambient probe for this pit is on the back top right-hand corner, and it does run pretty dang close to what the temperature is saying on the controller. And a few other cooks that pop into my head, I did up some smoked beef cheeks for our family on Taco Tuesday, and wow, the Ironwood crushed those cheeks.
You're so sauce.
Huh?
You're so sauce. Yeah, really crushed those cheeks and it really penetrated all the way down to the bone.
Okay, knock it off. The boys cooked up a pineapple bourbon ham, and we were all very happy with the smoky flavor that we got off from that spiral cut. If you have never had a smoked turkey, what are you waiting for? Look at the color that I got on this big bird. You certainly would make everyone proud with a centerpiece like this on Thanksgiving. Finally, yesterday, I added a little bit of smoke to some skirt steak that I used to cook up some fajitas on the flat rock. Now that cook only takes about 8 minutes, but adding that little smoky flavor to those fajitas made them off the charts. My overall opinion on the Traeger Ironwood is that it is a very nice pit, and it cooks great, but it might not be for everyone. Right now, this pit comes in at $1,999. But for all of you Traeger fans, look at it this way. It is $1,800 cheaper than the Timberline XL, with pretty much the same operating system, but you're just missing a few features. So if the cabinet, the induction stove, and the little bit bigger cooking space is not a big deal to you, then the Ironwood is your pit because there really isn't that big of a difference in the cooking chamber. It's great for the people that like to use modern technology in their daily lives. Now you can actually use an app and cook with it. Even I have to admit that being able to monitor Floki off my phone is a very nice creature comfort. A few things that I really like about the Ironwood is that it's built solid. When you're cooking on this pit, it doesn't feel flimsy at all. I really like the adjustable oven style warming rack because it never seems to fail. When they are locked in one position, you never have enough room. If there is something that I could change on the Traeger Ironwood, I would get 4 locking casters. If you've been following my channel long enough, I might sound like a broken record, but for my situation, I do prefer the 4 locking casters. For some of you with uneven surfaces, this pit might work a little better in your yard with these wagon wheels. Well, that's all I got. Roll the nation.